And here we go. Today on the Campfire Conversationalist guitar playthrough riffage thing, I'm going to be redoing my just made playthrough of the JHS at pedal as the at symbol. I saw this on a video, a fluff video, and I was so impressed with how the pedal sounded on a YouTube video that I was dumb enough to go ahead and buy it. So I actually bought the Sweetwater Edition, which is like the reverse, the negative colors of the original pedal. So the original pedal is a black with red. No, sorry, I got that backwards. It's a red pedal with black writing, and the Sweetwater Edition is the exact same pedal, but the colors are reversed, negative. So a black pedal with red writing, and the knobs are red. So on the original, the knobs would be black. On this one, it's black, and I like black more than red. I like a red accent, but if you were to like give me a red pedal or a black pedal, I like black better than red, but I like red to accent black, so it was a no-brainer for me. So, and I've got this pedal. I'm going to be using the TC Electronic MIMIQ doubler. So this pedal, so here's my signal chain. Let me just start over. Okay, so this is review of the JHS pedal, but I'm going to be using some other pedals with it to kind of give it some oomph and give it some me. So, here's my signal chain. I've got my Gretsch baritone. Okay, it's not a baritone. Back up again. I use it as a baritone. It is a short scale 4-string bass guitar with slightly lighter strings that I tune up instead of in a standard tuning of a bass tuning, which would be EADG. I tune up. So that's going to be, let's see, I don't remember my tunings because I change my tunings all the time. So for this, my low string's going to be G sharp, which I need to retune now. G sharp. There you go. There you go, buddy. Come on, get to the G sharp spot. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's my G sharp. I also tune not to 440 hertz, but I tune to 432. I gotta adjust the intonation on this bass slash. Okay, so as I was saying, I use this short scale bass. It's a 29.75 inch. No, 28.75 inch. Sorry, or maybe it is 29. I think it is 29.75. Yeah, it's slightly shorter than when I used to have a Jazzmaster. That was a 30 length. This is slightly shorter than that. I like baritone. I don't know how to shred. I can't shred. I've been playing guitar for over 20 years. I can't shred. It's not me. I play rhythm, and I play I play a rhythm style, a chug style. So that being said, I don't need all 6 strings. So I started playing baritone several years ago, liked it a lot, and then decided to try a short scale bass and tune it up with lighter strings into a baritone range instead of a bass guitar range. And that's what we have today. This is a Gretsch short scale bass that's got slightly lighter strings. It's tuned up. Like I said, G sharp is where I got this at today. D sharp, F sharp, A. So that's my tuning. So G sharp, D sharp, I'm just adjusting the tuning here so it's good for when I record. F sharp, A. I know that's not even a regular normal tuning. However, this is why I tune that way. It's so dumb, but this is just me. I figured out this 2-finger run that I can do. And I like that. So that's why I tune this way. That's as simple as that. It's dumb. But you can do a bunch of cool stuff. Anyways, so my signal chain is my Gretsch short scale bass that I use as a baritone. That's going to go into my REVV G8 noise gate. This pedal is mother effing awesome. Let me actually engage this to, okay. Here's what it sounds like without the gate on. Let me turn all the pedals off. Okay. And now I've got the REVV G8 engaged, and you don't get any of that noise. So that's now I'm going to turn all my pedals back off. That's why I have the REVV G8. It's a phenomenal gate pedal. A little on the pricey side, but it's worth it. I actually have two of them, and the reason why I have two of them doesn't matter for this particular review, but I'm going to explain it for you anyway. So what I'll do is I'll put one REVV G8 into the FX loop and one where I have my pedals going through the other G8. So I'm essentially noise gating the amp and the pedals with two different G8s, and it's so quiet. I mean, it's like the quietest, most quiet amp you've ever heard. When I've got two G8s, oh my goodness, you've never seen anything so quiet ever. Okay, that was my terrible drum impression. So, let me see here. Okay, so I've got the Rev 8, my Gretsch going into my Rev 8. Then I've got my MIMIQ. That is a doubler. What that does is sort of mimic the effect of two guitar tracks, essentially. So when you record music, you typically would, or you might play the same riff exactly on the same, the same guitar player would play the same riff on 2 or 3 or 4 tracks, the exact same thing to thicken up the sound. So what that does is this mimics that. Instead of having to actually record that many times, because I'm not that good of a guitar player and my playing, kind of sucks, so the timing will be off. I use this MIMIQ the TC Electronic MIMIQ pedal to sort of emulate that. It's not perfect, but it does thicken up the guitar tone and kind of give it that feel of 2 or 3 tracks being played at the same time. Most people wouldn't even notice if I had it on or off, but someone who is a producer or a guitar player might go, oh, that's a slightly thicker tone, and that would be why. Okay, the next pedal on the chain is the EarthQuaker Devices. I love this company, but I've only got one pedal from them. Plumes. Now, this is in overdrive. I have a lot of overdrives. I've probably got like 8 of them. I don't even know, maybe more, maybe less. I think this one sounds the best. It's got a lot of dB boost, which is dB is lingo for decibel. Decibels, I'll get into that another time. Forget about that. Don't worry about it. If you don't know what dB is, go Google it or something. So this pedal, the Plumes by Electronic EarthQuaker Devices. Sorry, it has a lot of dB boost, and it sounds really good. You can get a really good sound with it. That's all I have to say for that. My next pedal in the chain is going to be the REVV G4. Now, the REVV G4 is a distortion pedal. I don't know how else to describe it other than it's a distortion pedal. That's all it does. It's a distortion pedal. It's brutal. I'm probably not going to use that for this review, but it is in my signal chain, just so you're aware, in case I do decide to demo it. But this demo really is about the next pedal in the chain, which is the JHS. By the way, this is my first JHS pedal I've ever owned, and I love it. The JHS which is like, if you go look up videos on it, they explain it's like, I don't know, a spin-off of another pedal. I'm not sure if that's a JHS pedal or if Josh from JHS took another pedal from another company and emulated it in some way. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All I know is this pedal's awesome. So the main pedal we're looking at for the sound is going to be the JHS. But I'm going to be using the MIMIQ to thicken my guitar tone. And I'm going to be using the plumes sometimes, and then sometimes I won't. So you can get a feel for the boost level of the plumes. The JHS 8 does have its own boost, but I'll be boosting the boost. And I'll be leaving the boost on the JHS at the entire time. I won't take that off. The JHS will be engaged the entire time unless I decide I want to do a little bit of the REVV G4 distortion pedal. That's it. I'm 10 minutes and 40 seconds in, and I went way too long. No one's going to listen to this. But if they do, thank you. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my mic now, and I'm just going to go ahead and start riffaging. Oh, also, the reason I'm redoing this playthrough, I figured out my guitar amp, which is actually it's a bass amp that I'm using like a guitar amp. It is the TC Electronics Thrust. Yes, that is the name of it. I don't want to get into it. I figured out the setting on the back to allow me to control the bass, mids, and treble, and I didn't have that engaged correctly before, so now I'm going to be redoing this playthrough with that button engaged so I can get a more accurate tone of what I like. That being said, here we go.